Hey guys, make sure you are subscribed to our channel and turn on notifications so you know all of our latest posts, and follow us on Twitter and TikTok to come chat some wrestling with us and see clips from our latest videos and podcasts. But now, let's get into the video. Yo, what's going on, guys? C2 Wrestling back in person.
In person.
No Zoom, no Skype, no nothing. Straight in person, and we're getting straight into it.
Absolutely.
NXT.
Absolutely.
NXT. Honestly, it used to be like the best kept secret on how good it is. Now everybody knows. The shock factor that we get with NXT, always keeping things fresh. Wesley turning heel. First off, before we even get to how to book him, what should be next for him, is that up there and one of the more like I never thought, like to me, that's in the Bailey and Sami Zayn criteria of I thought they were never going to turn, and they did.
Yeah, I get that assumption. Wesley is definitely like towards that criteria of a face for life type wrestler. I'm not surprised it happened, but I do agree it's a little bit more unusual. I think he ran out of stuff to do as a face in NXT, and maybe for whatever reasoning, whatever they got going on, they don't want to quite call him up yet. Wesley is a great talent all around. Holding him down in NXT is only going to help other talent around him. So I'm definitely not opposed to it, but it has been interesting. There's a few avenues you can go with a heel, Wesley. I'm not 100% confident it's going to work, in all honesty. I don't know if him as a heel is the right move, but I'm open to it. I'm looking forward to see what we get. We got a few things to discuss about it, see how we can book Wesley for the future. NXT as a whole, it's been hot. This 2.0 era is dead. We're under the Shawn Michaels regime in NXT. A lot of great things have been happening. We only got more things coming with NXT. Wesley can be a focal point of it, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think there's a whole new shelf life on him. Like now, yes, he pretty much had run his course. You knew he wasn't going to get back in the world title mix. He already lost to Obafemi, wasn't going to win the North American Championship, lose the tag title match. So obviously, right in front of us is Wesley and the Rascals at some point. Wesley and some of the main event guys. I think the avenue is now open pretty clearly to all the faces that he wouldn't have faced unless it was in a multi-person match. It does feel more wide open with the TNA partnership.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because now I mentioned the shelf life. That's even more of a shelf life where maybe we get a Wesley Joe Hendry feud that is main event type level and can last 2 to 3 months, that can extend a Wesley heel turn. So it's not just a 3-4 month thing, and then he's back to being face.
Yeah, I think the NXT TNA collaboration has been great for both companies. The roster has expanded by double, pretty much. I know we haven't necessarily seen everybody cross over, and we might not, but it's open. There's no reason to say no to it now. So, in theory, Wesley could have a feud with a Joe Hendry, anybody over in TNA. I think there's a couple names, particularly in NXT, I'm looking to see him feud with. I think one of them, which I'll start with, is an obvious name. You have to, at a point, have a Wesley versus Trick Williams feud. They're going to have a great in-ring match. The mega babyface and Trick Williams versus this fresh new heel in Wesley. If they can use Wesley over the next couple months, maybe he goes against the Rascals a little bit. Maybe he gets another feud in between. Really establish him as a heel, and then you set up the Trick feud. That could be a great feud. Doesn't even have to be for a title. I don't know if we see Wesley with a title under this heel run. He's done the North American title. That's got its own thing going on right now. He won't be involved there. Clearly, not in a tag team. Turn on his tag team partners. The only other title for him is the NXT title, but it's on a heel. It's on All Ego Ethan Page right now. So there's a lot of transitioning that would have to happen to get Wesley to that belt. So that's a little bit down the road. How do you get him there? Trick Williams. I think that's must happen.
Biggest thing for me with that is it adds time for Trick as well. Because Trick, after he lost the title, before getting into the Pete Dunne matches, there was kind of a thought like, man, what is going to happen with Trick? He obviously is in there to be in the main event, but you don't want him. He's going to go for the title, but you kind of want to kill the time. Obviously, when they go to the CW, who knows? He might win it back at that point. Those first few shows are going to be big.
Mhm.
The first name that came to mind for me was actually a different wrestler.
Okay.
I do think Trick is that is a main event level feud.
Absolutely.
But the first name that came to mind for me for his most influential feud besides the Rascals was actually Javon Evans.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think not only, again, we know the match will be
Mm-hmm.
fantastic, but if we're going towards a story, I think a heel Wesley working with a face Javon Evans, that might be the best way to get heat on Wesley.
For sure.
Not saying that Trick isn't beloved because he obviously is. I think him attacking, cheap shotting, maybe he even injures Javon Evans for a
Mhm.
few weeks. I think that makes more sense for him. And it's more likely he gets a negative reaction than going after Trick.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. My next person on my list of who I want Wesley to face was Javon Evans. I think that is another pretty much must happen. I think that's a great feud for a few reasons, in which heel Wesley, super baby face, new kid on the block, young Javon Evans. This can establish both of them. Javon Evans is great. He's young, he's fresh, he's new. He's had a bit of a spotlight ever since coming aboard. He has his own T-shirt now. It usually takes you a little bit to start getting some merch and things. They have a lot planned for Javon Evans. He doesn't have to win this feud, this match. I think this is a great feud that you put Wesley over to more establish him as the heel. The babyface can take the loss in that feud. Javon Evans will still be just as over. Wesley can use that win more to then maybe establish him for the bigger babyface in Trick Williams.
I mentioned this guy before, but I have to hone in on it. Wesley and Joe Hendry is also
Mm-hmm.
a main event level two guys that could be going for the title, but you kind of want to buy time for them not immediately going for a title. My issue with Wesley and Joe Hendry, and even to an extent, Wesley and Trick Williams, is what you just mentioned. I'm not sure he goes over in those feuds.
Yeah.
Him with Javon Evans makes sense for him to go over and elevate Wesley. Because I think the biggest thing they're going to run into now, besides getting the fans to boo Wesley, is he has to elevate and beat names.
Yeah.
Because you've turned him heel, you've now taken him to a next level of his character, whatever it may be. Now we need to continue the believability because he's no longer this underdog cardiac kid.
Yep.
That's my only worry with him turning heel is he is such a good baby face and it is such an easy guy to get behind that it almost feels like Javon Evans slides into that type of character and Wes Lee is now slid into a different type of character. So I agree with you. I think him facing Javon is in a spot where he doesn't need to beat these top guys. He needs to face these top guys.
Yes.
And I think Wesley is the perfect matchup.
I do agree. I think that is a perfect matchup. I think just like we were kind of considering even TNA guys, you can't rule anything out. The main roster has had a great influx into NXT as of late. We just seen Otis face Obafemi for the North American title. We've seen a lot of guys go down to NXT over the years, whether it be for a little stint, a match, a feud. It's not outlandish to see somebody from the main roster come down to NXT. Based on what we've been seeing on TV and the way the Wyatt Six faction is going about it, attacking Chad Gable, maybe some Dakota Kai influence. I know she's off TV now, so that could change. But they did seemingly have this idea that they were going after people that would turn on people, turn on their family, go against people. Maybe Wesley turning on the Rascals is enough for an Eric Rowan match in NXT or something. Maybe that's crazy fantasy booking if you want to call it, sure. I'm not saying it's crazy that somebody from the main roster comes down to feud with Wesley.
I think that's actually very likely.
Yeah.
I think, especially when they get to the CW,
Mm-hmm.
which is very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So he's more than likely going to still be a heel at that time. My wonder with Wesley now, he goes heel, they move to the CW. Do you think it's now more likely that he gets called up as a heel, or is his call up now seem like the can's been kicked farther down the line? And again, NXT becoming its own brand, they're going to push that this is a main roster
Mm-hmm.
level. So I don't want to make it sound like it's a negative if he stays NXT. But to me, it feels like Wesley is not going anywhere for a long time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's going anywhere for a while. I think it's okay though. Normally I'd say by now, call him up. I would like to see Wesley on the main roster, but it's also great to have these established guys stay down there for a bit. Wesley is a fantastic talent that can help all around again. Keeping him down there is not a detriment to anybody's career, including his. It definitely does kick the can down the road a little bit further. I don't think it's crazy to say he gets called up during the next potential draft, but I think the ultimate story is potentially a heel run in NXT, ending with his epiphany moment, we'll call it, realizing maybe this wasn't right. Maybe he turns kind of face again, and then we get that main roster debut of him as a face. I could be wrong. Maybe this heel run skyrockets, and it's the greatest thing we've ever seen. It's hard for me to imagine him as a heel. He really is like a true baby face for me.
And that's why I mentioned before Sami Zayn and before Bailey turned heel, I thought both of them, there's no way they'll work as heels. When Bailey was a hugger, I'm like, this is the most baby face ever. Sami Zayn, like, there's no way either of them would work as a heel. And you could argue at their times of being heels, there were different moments that they were the best heels in the company. So obviously, patience going to give Wesley a chance. Do I have my doubts? Of course, that's because I like Wesley so much that I don't know if I can boo him. I think a good quick example of a comparison was when they attempted to turn the Street Profits heel.
That is a
And
good comparison.
and we
As
fans, we loved it so much that we cheered it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just ended up going back to face. And same with Bobby Lashley. Like, we wanted them to be heel. Like, in our minds and on paper, it sounded so good. So we cheered it when it happened. And we just made them even bigger baby faces. So that is definitely a possibility with Wesley.
It is a possibility with Wesley. I'm just very intrigued to see his demeanor, how he acts, how he goes about being a heel. They are seemingly giving him this sad boy heel kind of persona right now, where he was lost his title because he was injured, comes back, can't win with the tag team with the Rascals again, can't win the tag titles. It kind of makes it seem like they're going with this like depressed sad boy kind of heel persona. I'm interested to see where it goes. We dropped two names in Javon Evans and Trick Williams. NXT does not have a whole lot of big baby faces right now. So it's hard to really establish him against anybody but Trick Williams and Javon Evans, unless you bring in TNA, main roster people, and whatnot. There's a lot of time. We got a lot of time. I definitely think Wesley is wrestling at Stand and Deliver at the next Mania cycle. I think he's going to be in NXT for a little bit longer, but I don't know how it's going to go. I really don't. I'm open minded. I don't want to say I'm for it yet. I'm open minded.
I too am open minded, but I am excited. I want to know what you guys think. Down in the comments below, do you want to see him versus someone specific? Are you not excited for Wesley being heel at all? Personally, it is something where I am not going to just completely trash it without seeing where they go with it. I couldn't imagine if I never gave Sami Zayn or Bailey a chance as being heels, what could have become if I didn't.
Yeah.
Get down in the comments. While you're there, throw a like on the video, subscribe. Where can they catch us as well?
Catch us on TikTok, catch us on Twitter. We've been getting a bit of love on TikTok. We love to see that. Comment on those videos, hit us with likes. We love to communicate with all you guys. all our fans. We love talking wrestling. So committed to this channel. For all of you that don't know, we don't live in the same state at the moment.
If
That's why a lot of these are over Zoom. Committed enough to get together in person, put out some videos for you guys. We love to see it. Love to hear from you. Like Chris said, comment down below. And this is C2 Wrestling. Until next time. That was
completely
bad.
missed. Catch you guys next time.